What has become apparent with the Ethereum economy is that there's these ridiculously impressive financial assets like Maker's DAI and Digix's DGX token, but they're not going to realize their full potential unless they have some kind of way to manifest themselves in the real world, right? And this is, I believe, exactly what we've achieved with TokenCard. My name is Mel Gelderman. I am the CEO of Monolith Studio and the creator of the TokenCard project. With TokenCard, we're trying to create the first products for the post-bank era.
One of the main goals for TokenCard is to create a product that's accessible to a broader market. So not just the underlying Ethereum community, but to users that could benefit from this technology as well. And that's a lot of people, actually.
We're taking the best parts of the cryptocurrency phenomenon, right? And putting it in a package which people are actually familiar with, which is the physical debit card itself, right? Which everyone can use, and an app which almost also everyone can use.
The card's very simple. It's a debit card. It goes anywhere on the Visa debit network. You can use it at merchants. You can use it at ATMs. When you swipe it, it'll talk to the smart contract wallet that holds your tokens, ask if the swipe is okay. If it is, the swipe will go through.
One of the big differences with any other service is that you don't have to deposit your money into a third party's control, right? So in the real world, this is very normal, right? You give money to a bank, for example, or to another service, and in doing so, it's not really your money anymore, right? It's their money, and they can do whatever they want with it. However, with cryptocurrency, we gained this fantastic new possibility that you can actually own your own money, but you still need to give away that money once you actually want to use it, right? If you want to use it on an exchange, you have to deposit your money into their control. With TokenCard, instead, you use a contract wallet, which you yourself control, into which you can deposit all your tokens and Ether and other assets, and just give the TokenCard itself an allowance, right? We're going to start off with simple things like a percentage-based allowance, right? So for example, 1% of all the tokens or Ether in the contract wallet could be spent per day, or it could be, 100 Ether per day. Using an oracle, we can even calculate a fiat-based denomination. So now with TokenCard, we have a system where you don't give up the utility of having access to the whole payments network, right? But still retain control of your money, which is a magical combination, I'd say. So cryptocurrency has a lot of benefits, right? And especially now with Ethereum, we're creating all these ridiculously impressive digital assets. Most products have just focused on, Bitcoin, for example. But because of that, by no fault of their own, they've limited the size of their potential user base a lot, right? There are very few people in the world who consciously want to use Bitcoin. But now with Ethereum, there's going to be all kinds of assets issued on the network. If you're in Indonesia or something, you only have access to the local currency, right? But with TokenCard, no other bank in Indonesia offers the dollar even, right? But a lot of people definitely want that. A user in the future could download the TokenCard app and start using TokenCard and hold his value in whatever assets he feels most comfortable with. In fact, it could even be, a comfortable combination of assets, for example, US dollar, gold and euro. So you could swipe your TokenCard and pay, in the future, maybe even 20% gold, 30% Apple stock, right, and 50% Ether.
One of the things we're doing is incorporating a fiat to token exchange, which allows regular users with a debit card or credit card to purchase different ERC20 tokens.
So it completely eliminates all the steps that have been present in the industry for a long time, which is that you have to create all kinds of wallets and accounts, withdraw and deposit and exchange, which is just hurting adoption of the technology. And TokenCard really brings these platforms to the general public by taking care of the whole user experience. The TokenCard MVP launches about the 15th of September and will support at launch 5 or so tokens, which are going to be chosen by the community. And we'll be issuing 500 beta cards around that time, which will go to the top 500 contributors. This is going to be a really technical beta, meaning that you'll be interacting directly with the contract itself. There won't be a UI ready yet, but it should be really cool. Along with TokenCard, we're issuing a token called the TKN. And for every swipe a user makes with this TokenCard, we take a 1% a licensing fee, which accrues to a special smart contract called the TKN asset contracts. And if you're a holder of TKN, you get a pro rata claim on that pile of assets. So if you have 1% of TKN, you also can claim 1% of those assets.
Over time, whatever tokens people like to have will start to be accrued and piled up inside the TKN asset contract.
TKN now becomes an asset which is backed by a portfolio of assets, and even better, it is a portfolio which is dynamically adjusting according to popularity of the assets within the Ethereum economy. If a token becomes really popular, a lot of people are spending it, it also will start to represent a larger proportion of the total pool of assets because a lot of people are spending it. So it's like an autonomous proxy asset for not just Ethereum, but the entire Ethereum economy. And with all these projects coming out which are issuing their own token, it's going to become overwhelming as to which project you want to follow and contribute to. And so TKN becomes this really interesting asset to hold if you don't have that much time, because you know that in the future it's literally going to be accumulating the most popular and the most used assets within the Ethereum ecosystem.
TKN should be always worth at least the value of all the tokens underlying it. And that's cool. Modern portfolio theory says that TKN should have lower volatility than any kind of randomly chosen token in the ecosystem, and on average better returns as well.
So when you finally decide to claim your pro rata share of TKN, right? For example, if you have 1% of TKN, you call a function called cash and burn. And what happens is you basically end up sending and destroying your TKN. In exchange, you get that 1% of assets that you are owed. You're also reducing the total supply of TKN, and so for people who are left with TKN now, they have a proportionally higher share of any future assets accumulated to the contract, right? So there's an incentive not to burn, but if you do, that's great for other people. So the TKN creation period starts on the 2nd of May, runs for 7 days, and if we hit the cap of 4.5 million within that time, we'll extend for another 24 hours to allow for people who missed out to contribute as well. One interesting thing we're doing is that because this platform is called the TokenCard, and we're here to stimulate this token economy, right? We really believe in it. We also want to support tokens during our contribution period itself, right? So it's not just Ether, but also most of the other good popular tokens will be accepting during the contribution period. In fact, some of these tokens will be even getting a slightly better bonus rate if we've partnered with those respective projects.